so I didn't get to play much when I was in 8th grade. And our coach practically insulted the scrubs. He would only put us into the game with 3 seconds left in the game. Now imagine this. You have the ball out of bounds. They call a timeout. The coach brings the scrubs in. They throw the ball in after the timeout. 3 seconds goes on, and game's over. It's almost embarrassing to get into the game. The last game of the season, I actually had not played a single second. The coach said, looked down the bench and he said, there's 5 seconds left in the game. Who hasn't played? I said, Coach, I haven't played. And I'm thinking, do I really want to go in for 5 seconds? He looked at me and said, nah, Binder, you played. Now I got mad. I did not play this year. He said, yeah, you did. I went up in his face and I said, no, I didn't. I want to play. And he said, sit down. He didn't put me in. At that moment I said, I'm going to be motivated. I am never going to sit on this bench again. I went home to my mom and I said, Mom, I didn't play 1 second this year. I'm going to start next year. And she looked at me and patted me on the head. I wasn't very tall for basketball. She said, sure. It was January in Pennsylvania. I started shoveling the driveway and practicing basketball every night after school. The basketball coach, who didn't let me play a second, drove by my house every day after school. And he would saw me out shooting hoops. And I would wave to him. And as his car drove by, I would change the wave to a single digit. I practiced that summer. I was determined and motivated to succeed. What I had was a goal in mind. I had the vehicle to get there because I knew I had to practice basketball to become better. And the path was all you had to do is work every day. I talked a little bit about goals today. And when you're trying to reach a destination, it's kind of like if you're trying to get to Austin. Austin is your goal. You need a vehicle to get there. And then you have a navigation to get from here to there to make sure you get there in the most efficient way. I'm not going to dig in deeper today because on May 23rd, Terry Catino and I will be having another sales training seminar, and we'll get into how you can become more successful by setting your goals, setting smart goals, having the vehicle to help you achieve your goals, and then the navigation to get you to the final destination. That next year in basketball, I finally started every game. I was the 5th best player. By the time I was in 10th grade, I was starting. 11th and 12th grade, I was the best player on the team. And I just knew that if I worked hard and I focused and I followed my path, I would get there. What was interesting, you know, they say white men can't jump. Well, as soon as I was in 9th grade, I started jumping. Every day, I would jump. I would jump. I would actually get to the point where I could hit my shoulders on a 7-foot ceiling. I got to the point where my vertical was 36 inches. I could jump this high off the ground. So that's what made me a better basketball player. And truly, white men can't jump. You think about people that are famous that have focused and have a level of motivation. And I think a lot of you have heard about Arlen Sanders, who started Kentucky Fried Chicken. He got his first Social Security check and decided, I can't live on this. He went to over 1,000 restaurant owners before he finally reached his goal. It's something that you should just never give up on. In 1993, my wife and I went to H-E-B shopping, like we did on a normal Friday night, with our 2-year-old daughter. Now, some of you have heard this story. We walked into H-E-B. We got some groceries, some fresh produce, and then, of course, having a 2-year-old, we walked down the diaper aisle. And there was a shoebox sitting there with a picture of a 1993 Ford Ranger pickup. My wife picked it up and looked at it, and then she looked at the rules for the contest. She looked at me with one of those looks that I wanted to run away. She said, "I'm going to win this truck." Now, what do you say when your spouse says something absolutely insane?
Yes, dear. Yes, dear.
That's about it. I said, "Great idea." She looked at it and she said, "You know, I can fill out all these forms, or I can get 3x5 cards and write down my name, address, phone number, and I guess the number of actually diapers in the back of this pickup truck." Because the pickup truck, they filled it with diapers and you had to guess the number. I said, "Okay, what a great idea." She said, "Let's buy 100 3x5 cards and I'll start filling them out." I said, "Wow, that's a great idea." Now, she was motivated because we only had one vehicle. She was a stay-at-home mom, and she wanted another vehicle. The following Monday, she calls me at the office. She said, "I need some more 3x5 cards." I said, "Well, what do you mean? Pick up another 100? She said, "Pick up 500. So I picked up 500. 2 days later, she called me again. "I need another 500. She was serious. She was motivated. We actually went to see the pickup truck that HEB had on display. They were driving it around to different HEBs.